So I think I've finally figured out the biggest mystery in Unstable SMP. The Forge, the Farlands, and the Underworld are all connected. And after rewatching all the videos and overanalyzing every single detail, I think the Forge is the thing that created both the Farlands and the Underworld. Now, to understand this theory, we first need to go back to the first time the Forge was ever mentioned. In Wembu's video where he explored beyond the Minecraft Farlands, he fought a player named Lakrick, and Lakrick was insanely powerful. During the fight, Lakrick used something called stab shots, which could basically call down orbital strikes from the sky. And this is important because during the fight, we saw a sign which said that Lakrick had weapons that came from the Forge, which means the Forge is connected to orbital strike cannons. And after killing Lakrick, Wembu became completely obsessed with finding the Forge because he thought the Forge was the source of all these overpowered weapons. Then later in the Farlands civilization video, Wembu kept asking Lakrick's friends about the Forge, because after fighting Lakrick and seeing the orbital strike cannons, he became obsessed with finding where that power came from. But Lakrick's friends kept saying they didn't know what the Forge actually was, even though they clearly knew more than they were telling Wembu. And later we saw more proof of this. They trapped Wembu and Eggchan inside a TNT room. They destroyed bridges so they couldn't continue, and they kept trying to distract them from searching deeper into the Farlands, which means the Forge is something extremely important. Now here's where things get really weird. Inside the Farlands civilization, there were things that are literally impossible in vanilla Minecraft. There were rooms with completely different Minecraft versions. One room looked like old Minecraft with old textures and sounds. Another room had different mechanics entirely, and this is not possible even with command blocks. Then there were infinite villagers, unlimited loot, corrupted terrain generation, massive void gaps, impossible biome generation, ravagers spawning naturally, random end portals millions of blocks away from spawn, and even memory loops replaying old events forever. And in Spoke's latest video, we saw that the Farlands go thousands of blocks below Minecraft's normal height limit, which completely breaks vanilla Minecraft rules. And then Eggchan found the compass. Now this is important because a lot of people think the compass pointed toward the Forge, but I actually think the compass pointed toward the orbital strike cannon technology itself, which still connects back to the Forge because Lakrick's orbital weapons were said to come from the Forge. So the Forge is most likely the source of all impossible technology in Unstable SMP. Now let's talk about the Underworld, because I think the Underworld was also created by the Forge. In Wembu and Boosfer's Underworld video, we saw something impossible. Normal players couldn't place or break blocks there. Only Soul Keepers could. That alone completely breaks Minecraft. You cannot disable block breaking for only specific players in vanilla survival Minecraft, which means something extremely powerful created the Underworld itself. Then deeper inside, we saw the giant black castle and the gold block in the center causing massive lag because of entity cramming. And below the roof were thousands of players hanging inside cages. Now most people think those are just dead players, but I think those are players who got trapped trying to enter the Underworld, because I think the Underworld is actually a checkpoint system. And this explains the instant travel portals. Remember when Wembu traveled over 20 million blocks using just 2 nether portals? That is impossible in normal Minecraft. If this was vanilla Minecraft, he would have only traveled a few hundred blocks away, which means someone created a special portal transportation system connected to the Underworld. And I think the Soul Keepers guard these portals. That's why when players enter the Underworld, they can't move or break blocks, because it's basically a security checkpoint. Only trusted players are allowed to pass through. People like Jamato P, and anyone else gets trapped forever, which explains the cages. Now here's the craziest part of the theory. I don't think the Forge is inside the Underworld, because the Forge created the Underworld. And the Forge also probably isn't inside the Nether because the Underworld itself seems artificially generated. So the Forge must be somewhere in the Overworld, most likely beyond the Farlands. And suddenly everything makes sense. The Farlands are not random terrain corruption. They are a defense system. The impossible biomes, lack of food, broken terrain, giant void gaps, corrupted chunks, all of it exists to stop players from reaching the Forge. And the Farland civilization itself exists to protect it. That's why Servantbound said they live there, to stay away from players like Wembu, because the people protecting the Forge know how dangerous it is. The Forge can literally rewrite Minecraft itself. It can create impossible weapons. It can generate entire dimensions. It can create memory loops. It can alter world generation. It can break Minecraft limitations completely. And the people protecting it know that if someone like Wembu fully controls it, the server could completely collapse. And honestly, they were probably right to fear him, because after Lakric died, Wembu didn't care about understanding the Forge. He only cared about getting stronger weapons. And now look where we are. Orbital strike cannons are everywhere. Reality itself is breaking. The underworld exists. The farlands keep expanding. And the scariest part is, I think someone is still using the Forge right now, because these anomalies are still happening, which means somewhere beyond the farlands, someone might still be controlling the thing that created everything. So if you want more insane, unstable SMP theories like this, then seriously hype this video as much as possible, and subscribe